Hello and welcome back to another Starfield video. Today we are taking a look at the backgrounds in Starfield, and I'll be ranking them from worst to best. Now it should be noted that I stand by these ranked, however, these are just early game stat boosts for the most part, and many of the perks of going with most backgrounds will be broadly applicable, and you can always level up the skills later. The most important benefits of certain backgrounds over others are the background-specific speech insights that you will get throughout the story. But with all that in mind, let's dive on in as I rank them from 21 to 1, or worst to best. So starting us off at the 21st spot, so the worst one, at least in my opinion out of all of them, we have the chef. So it says, while the unrefined masses scarfed down chunks by the shipload, you catered to those with a more discerning palate. In your kitchen, countless alien species became true culinary masterpieces. So this one for skills, we've got gastronomy, fitness, and security. Just from a high level, I would say it's useful for those focused on crafting and cooking gameplay, but might limit any combat potential that you're going to see early game. So for gastronomy, it says access to brand new worlds means access to brand new ingredients, and there is almost no limit to the delicious foods and drinks a talented chef can prepare. Dueling says, considered by many to be the lost art, close attacks with a melee weapon can often be deadlier than ranged combat when carried out by a skilled practitioner, so if you're planning on using melee weapons, this one could work there. The most useful one here is probably scavenging, so it says there are those who can find just about anything, and their success is usually dependent on knowing how and where to look. So like I said, it's not like it's terrible and you can't make it work, but I find the chef to be just overall the worst one available, so that's why I put it at 21. At number 20, we have the Pilgrim background, so it says Wayfarer, Wanderer, Seeker, Transient. You've been called many things during your travels and learned something those others could never understand. The journey is the destination. So your starting skills with this one are the scavenging, surveying, and gastronomy. So we've already looked at scavenging and gastronomy, so those are both the same as the ones you get with the chef background, but we also get surveying. So surveying says humanity now has access to untold alien worlds, and the ability to decipher all that data while on the ground has become an essential skill set. So as far as this one goes, you're focused more on survival with this one, and also a little bit for the charisma aspects, but it really lacks any specialized skills for combat. So even the chef had that melee boost, this one has none for combat. So Pilgrim takes the number 20 spot. At number 19, we have the Explorer background. So this one says, they said exploration is a lost art. You didn't listen. As the major factions argued over the space they desperately tried to control, you were busy uncovering the wonders of the settled system. So this one has surveying like the last one does, but we've got two more skills with this one. Lasers, so personal laser weapons are in widespread use across the settled systems, and specialized training can greatly increase their effectiveness. And astrodynamics. Advanced technology is one thing, but it takes skill, patience, and a little bit of love to coax even more capability out of a ship's grav drive. So this one is balanced, so I don't find it particularly terrible, but it doesn't really offer any specialized traits to you. It's nice having that laser boost if you're planning on using laser weapons. Surveying's a good generalized one if you're planning on scouting a lot of planets, and astrodynamics is a skill I typically recommend getting because it just makes your grav drive a lot more effective as you level that one up, so it doesn't hurt to have that early game. But Explorer is not as specialized as a lot of the better ones, and that's why I ranked it lower. Number 18, we have Gangster. You were always disgusted by suckers killing themselves to make an honest wage. As soon as you were old enough to hold a weapon, you took what you wanted from anyone unlucky enough to have it. This one is definitely great if you want to be a thief, like if you know you want to do, I guess, a criminal build. This is an excellent option, but it's not great for really anything else. I mean, nothing about it is real terrible, except for the speech skills for it are going to be the low-life options, so if you're trying to avoid that in any way, this one's a bad background to go with. For our skills on this one, we have Shotgun Certification, the cornerstone of close quarters combat, or CQC. The shotgun has proven a simple, deadly weapon for hundreds of years. Boxing, once considered a sport of kings, boxing is still practiced as a recreational competitive activity, but its combat applications can't be denied. And theft. While not entirely honorable and certainly not legal, it is nonetheless occasionally necessary to discreetly remove property from someone else's person. This one, like I said, the perks by themselves are not bad. I don't really care much for the boxing perk. I don't waste points on it because unarmed combat is pretty rare in this game unless you really, really want to do it. Shotgun certification's not bad because I like using shotguns in the game. They're pretty effective, and of course being able to pick pockets is great, so the theft skill is pretty decent. But yeah, Gangster is at the number 18 spot. Number 17 is Professor. You always enjoyed learning, but nothing could compare to the joy of teaching others. As humankind spread throughout the stars, there was never a lack of knowledge to obtain, and you gladly assisted. This one is a build that'll be suited for those interested in crafting, research. So the skills you start with are astrodynamics. That's the one that helps your grav drive be more effective. Geology says newly discovered minerals mined from alien planets and moons have directly led to some incredible technological advancements. enhancements, so that one will be good for seeking out minerals and mining them. And research methods says, by skillfully employing both new and time-tested methods, a researcher may complete projects faster and even gain unexpected insights. That one's going to increase your research XP gain rate. So this one's not terrible. Again, like all of these on here, you can make it work, but I just find it not to be as specialized towards, like I said, the key thing is those speech factors that come into effect as you play through the game, because the skills you can always get. So Professor's at number 17. And number 16, we have Xenobiologist. The settled systems is home to untold alien species, and while none of them have yet proven sentient, that never deterred you, so you sought out and studied them for whatever gifts they offered. This one starts with lasers, surveying, and fitness. We've already looked at lasers. That gives you boost to your laser weapons. Surveying makes you a little bit better at obviously using your scanner to scan creatures and stuff on planets. And then we also get fitness with this one. So in space, the greatest commodity is oxygen, and the increased lung capacity gained by a regular physical fitness regimen is essential to survive. So we get a small oxygen boost starting off, and we also get that boost to laser weapon damage, and our surveying is a little bit more effective. So Xenobiologist is starting to get into the ones where I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good, and I can see starting off with that, because those are boosts that help early gameplay. The only one of these that isn't super effective early game is lasers, and that's mostly just because I find laser weapons to be more effective mid to late game just because of ammo availability. Other than that, it's just a strong combination of research and basic abilities. So I don't mind the Xenobiologist background, and that's why it takes the number 16th spot. Number 15, we have the Bouncer background. You've worked the line at the toughest clubs in the settled systems. Back then, you learned that most non-lethal confrontations can be solved one of two ways: a strong right hook or a more strongly secured door. So this one gives you boosts to boxing, so unarmed combat, fitness, so a little bit of an oxygen boost, and security. While the standardized digital locking mechanism is renowned for its security, any code can be broken with the proper training. So this one will give you an initial boost to lockpicking and getting into computers and stuff, since those are the same skill in this game. Honestly, it's nice to have that at the beginning of the game. The oxygen boost from fitness is useful. Again, like I said, unarmed combat is not all that useful. Bouncer would be higher if there was a different skill over boxing, because it is nice having a fitness and security boost right away at the beginning. And number 14, we have the Homesteader background. The discovery of the settled systems, many oxygen-rich planets and moons, meant humans could live just about anywhere, if they had the know-how. You did, and utilized it to great effect. So this one here, we can see geology, so we're going to be slightly better at gathering those minerals. We're going to get slightly more than we would without that skill starting off. Surveying, our scanner is going to be a little bit more effective, and weightlifting. So weight training can significantly increase one's ability to carry weapons and equipment, both in space and on the ground. So this one is just going to increase the amount that you can carry, which is obviously a useful perk in this game, as you'll find your inventory filling up a lot. So I love having weightlifting off the bat, and geology and surveying are both skills that are decent starting out, because it's an excellent way to get money, XP, and the resources you're going to need to do lots of stuff, and both of those improve your ability to do that. Number 13, Ronin. So this one says, masterless and unbound, you wandered the settled systems as a blade for hire. To some, you were a simple mercenary, to others, a hero, and to a select few, a nightmare they could never wake from. So this one is getting into the point where it's a pretty good one that I actually genuinely enjoy. The feats that we start off with are dueling, so that's our melee weapon boost, same as Chef. Stealth, so for a combatant who values discretion above all else, the ability to approach a target while undetected and kill with a silenced weapon is as terrifying as it is effective, so that one is excellent for ranged sneak attacks. And scavenging, so that's going to help us with our extra loot. So it says there are those who can find just about anything, and their success is usually dependent on knowing how and where to look. So this one is a useful one. I don't have a lot to complain about with Ronin. Again, I don't use melee too much in this game, so dueling isn't that important, but I get why you'd want it for Ronin, since that's a masterless samurai. Stealth's a good skill, because sneak attacks will get you through a lot of more difficult combat early game, and scavenging is a good one because it's just going to improve the amount of loot, or the quality of loot that you're going to be getting. Number 12, Sculptor. So with your knowledge of anatomy and skilled, steady hands, you could have had a lucrative career as a surgeon. Instead, you followed your heart and created works of art to amaze and inspire. This one starts off with persuasion, geology, and medicine. So for medicine, only through advancements in medical training and technology has humanity been able to withstand the galaxy's many dangers. This one makes all of your medical applications, bandages, and other health resources more effective. So that's good starting off, because you're going to be taking damage and you're not going to have tons and tons of health resources. So them being more effective is a good boost at the beginning. Geology, again, you're going to be able to get more ore and stuff from planets. And persuasion is an excellent boost to start off with. In the settled systems, the nuanced ability to listen and discuss can often accomplish far more than simply shooting first and asking questions later. This one makes you more effective at persuading people through dialogue. So it's definitely a useful skill. All three of those are useful skills early game. At number 11, we have the Beast Hunter background. From the Ashta of Aquila to the terramorphs that plague the whole of the settled systems, hostile alien life abounds. You've learned the skills to track them, find them, and take them down. So this one comes with the gastronomy skill. Access to brand new worlds means access to brand new ingredients, same as the chef. So basically you're going to be able to cook a lot more fancy stuff with this one, which makes sense since you're hunting beasts. You're going to want to be able to cook them and probably sell the stuff because you're not going to need to eat all of it. Ballistics. Centuries of conflict have proven that when it comes to threat elimination, few things stack up to the reliable power of high-speed projectiles. So that one will just make all projectile weapons more effective, which is definitely a good skill to have, especially early game when you're going to be mostly using projectile weapons. And fitness, so our oxygen's going to be useful again. I don't find gastronomy to be that important of a skill, but if you're going to specialize on hunting beasts, which is a good way to level up, you're going to want to make money off that, and being able to make better food is going to make it so you can make more money. Other than that, ballistics and fitness are both good skills. Number 10 is combat medic. Leave it to human beings to fight over something as infinite as outer space. That's where you come in. You've never been afraid to take on the enemy, but you'd much rather take care of your friends. So this one comes with pistol certification. Considering the popularity of the personal sidearm in the settled systems, familiarity with such weapons is often considered essential. That just makes all your pistols more effective in combat, so it's definitely useful there. Medicine, so that one, we've already talked about that one. It just makes all of your health kits and other stuff like that more effective. And wellness, by embracing an active lifestyle and good nutrition habits, one may improve their overall sense of health and even gain prolonged life expectancy. That one just improves your hit points. So all three of those skills are useful, especially early game, so combat medic is definitely an excellent way to go. Down below our top 10, at number 9, we have cyberneticist. So robots, mere toys. Neuroamps, good for parlor tricks. The colony war may have made implants and upgrades available to veterans, but you once saw a greater future. Humans and machines as one. So this one comes with medicine, security, and lasers. Lasers obviously gives us the improved damage with laser weapons. Security makes you a little bit better at lockpicking, and medicine makes your medical stuff work better. All three of those, again, are good skills overall. Only thing to consider is, like I said, with laser weapons, oftentimes early game you're just limited by the amount of ammo you have for them. And number 8, we have the long hauler. Let those other hot-headed pilots obsess over laser weapons and maneuverability. You're a space trucker, pure and simple. Pack the cargo, get it there fast, get paid, repeat. Life is simple and good. This one is pretty solid. I like this one a lot. It comes with ballistic weapons systems, piloting, and weightlifting. We've already talked about weightlifting. That just improves the amount that you can carry both in space and on the ground, so that's obviously very useful in this game. Piloting is a great skill to have, so it says as more people journey into space, the number of those certified to effectively pilot various types of spacecraft has increased dramatically. You're going to want the piloting skill as high as possible throughout the game, so getting that initial boost at the beginning is a good choice. It just allows you to pilot better ships. Once you've maxed it out, you'll be able to do C-class ships. You start out with just A-class. It's great to have an extra skill in that perk, basically. Ballistic weapon systems is another one. While ballistic weapons are not particularly effective against shields, they do some of the best damage against the hull of ships, so it's excellent to specialize in them for ship-to-ship combat. It says, while there has been significant advancements in shipborne weaponry, sometimes the simplest tool is the most effective, and that's certainly the case with ballistic weapons. So the long hauler background is an excellent choice, and it takes the number 8 spot. Number 7, we have the Space Scoundrel. Good? Bad? Whose right is it to say? If there's anything you've learned while traipsing through the galaxy, it's this. Space may look black, but it's actually one big shade of gray. This one comes with persuasion, so you're going to be slightly more effective at persuading people in conversation. Piloting, so you're going to be better at flying your ships, and you're going to be able, you're going to be that one step closer to being able to pilot better ships. And pistol certification, so pistols are going to be more useful. This is basically the Han Solo build. Honestly, pretty solid. I like it a lot. It just missed out on my top 6, which are the best ones in my opinion, the ones that are all just really, really good choices. This one was close. So Space Scoundrel takes the number 7 spot. Alright, and starting at number 6 with Industrialist, all the rest of these from 6 to 1 are the ones that I consider to be just excellent choices. The speech parts come up with them pretty dang often so that you get more of a gameplay benefit from them, and the perks that they have just really, really work out early game. They're great boosts to have. So for Industrialist, it says, there was a time when all you wanted to be was a titan of industry, maybe a ship designer or megacorp exec. Thankfully, that skill set never goes out of style in the settled systems. This one starts with persuasion, so you're going to be more effective at talking people into stuff. Security, so you're going to be able to lockpick better. And research methods, so you're going to gain that extra research XP boost. So all useful early game, all around, really, really good class to have, and the Industrialist speech options come up quite a bit. And number 5, we've got an obvious one, Soldier. It says the settled systems is no stranger to warfare, and if there's one thing armed conflict relies on, it's trained warriors with guns and guts. You had both. Simple, bloody work, and you were great at it. So this one starts off with solid skills. Fitness, so our oxygen boost from the beginning is good. Ballistics, all ballistic weapons are going to deal more damage. And a very important one, boost pack training. Specialized training and innovations in personal mobility systems have allowed for unfettered exploration on alien worlds. Boost pack training is one of the first skills I always recommend getting, so this one starts off with it, and that's obviously a huge advantage. So the soldier takes the number 5 spot. Number 4, we've got diplomat. The wars are over, peace now reigns the settled systems, but only because there are those quietly fighting to keep it. Because of you, agreements were signed, words were heeded, lives were spared. This one is excellent for a lot of reasons. So most people know in RPGs that yes, fighting and all that sort of stuff is fun, but it's actually really easy. It's much harder to try convincing people to do things through talking to them, and this one definitely gives you some boosts right away that help with that. So wellness is going to improve our health and hit points, so that's just useful to have overall for anything. Commerce, it says in the settled systems, free market economy, almost anyone with the right skill set can open and run a successful business. Basically, leveling up commerce just makes it cheaper for you to buy things, and you get more money for selling things. And then, of course, persuasion makes it so you can persuade people in conversation. So diplomat, it's a really solid background. It takes the number 4 spot. And number 3, we have the Cyber Runner. From Neon to New Atlantis, the Megacorps stand as monuments to power, prestige, and profit. You've worked both for and against them on the inside and out, often sacrificing conscience for credits. So this one is pretty solid. We again have stealth for a starting skill, so sneak attacks with guns are going to be more effective. Security, so you're going to be able to lockpick and break into computers, and theft, so you're going to be able to pick pockets. This one is pretty solid. It's a little bit less towards the criminal side than the gangster one, so I actually like it more if you're doing a criminal build, but it does start off with those useful skills. It's useful to be able to pick pockets, it's useful to be able to break into locks, and it's useful to have effective stealth attacks. And number 2, our runner-up, we have the Bounty Hunter. Wherever there are wanted individuals, there are those who profit from their capture, and your quarry knows that in the vastness of space they can run, but they can't hide. This one is, out of all of the role-play-ish ones, that are real designed, this one is my personal favorite, just as well as starting with the best skills, and also having very, very useful dialogue options that come up throughout the game from this background. So starting skills are piloting, so you're going to be a better pilot and be that one step closer to being able to pilot better ships. Targeting control systems, so missile weapons are favored because they can lock onto an enemy ship, but an intimate knowledge of tracking systems can make them even more effective. This one is useful for during space combat, ship-to-ship combat. You can zoom in on your opponent and target specific systems, so you're going to want to upgrade your targeting control systems to make that effective, whether you're just trying to take out their engines so you can board them, or take out their weapons so they can't damage you. Whatever the case is, it makes ship-to-ship combat a lot more effective, so it's great having that starting out. And then boost pack training. So much like the soldier, we can have our boost pack, and again, like I said, no matter what you do, I recommend getting your boost pack as early as possible, so it's great to start with it. There's only one that I consider to be just all around better, and that is the file not found. It says, oddly, there is no information on file about your past life. Clerical oversight? Deletion by some powerful unknown faction? Or was there just nothing of note to mention? Whatever the reason, your past is only known to you. What's important is the here and now, and the path you're about to forge. This one starts off with just a good smattering, the 3 most useful skills probably early game to start off with, so it's very, very well balanced. You start off with wellness, so your health and hit points are going to be higher. Ballistics, so your ballistic weapons are going to deal more damage, and piloting, so you're going to be better at flying ships, and like I keep saying, be that one step closer to being able to fly Class B and then C ships. Very, very useful skills. None of those are bad. They're all useful throughout the entire game. You're going to want all those skills anyway, so it's great to start off with them. This one is just a really well-rounded playstyle. It doesn't give you the specific benefits that some of the other ones like the Bounty Hunter, Soldier, Diplomat, Industrialist, Cyber Runner, those ones that give you those really, really useful speech benefits. You're not going to come up with that very often in the file not found, at least not in my experience, but it is just a really good starting set for pretty much any playstyle. But that is, in a nutshell, all 21 of them ranked from worst to best. Now, like I said, you can make any of these work, and the skills, as far as they go, yes, obviously you're going to benefit more from starting with some than others, but you can unlock all of these skills at any point in the game. It's a very forgiving system with no level cap, so eventually you'll be able to get any of the skills. But starting off with them will give you that initial boost, plus, like I said, the big thing is how much that background actually comes up throughout the game. So, with all that in mind, thanks a ton for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it useful, but that's all for today. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.